Hey, it's Cody. First off, today I would like to apologize for the fact that I have bitten my nails all the way down to bleeding in some cases. The last week and a half, 2 weeks have contained literally some of the worst days of my life, so far. So, yeah, I fell off the stop biting my nails fucking wagon. So, sorry you're gonna have to look at that. Alright, so I'm actually here today, to look at the indie version and the mass market versions of, I think it's called the Sefirot tarot. I went on a wild YouTube spree trying to hear people pronouncing this word, and there kind of doesn't really seem to be a consensus on what is correct. So if you know the proper pronunciation of this word, please let me know what it is, because I've heard a lot of different things just in the last couple days trying to look up, and I know that this is the word for the emanations of something to do with the Kabbalistic tree of life. That's not really something that I work with, but I do know that it is a word that has to do with that, and I don't fucking know how you say it, despite attempting to find out. Okay, so I just wanted to do like a side-by-side flip through of these, just in case you were wondering what was different. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just look at the boxes really quick. Here, this is the indie version. This is mass market. The mass market version is by Hay House. So this one, we've got a white box with gold on it, and it slides out like a little drawer here. Please ignore the scuff right there. This one is the Hay House version, and the top just pulls off like that. All right, so we will get both of these out here. Okay. This packaging kind of pisses me off. I'm not gonna fucking lie. All right. I also did want to point out, let me get this crap out of frame here. The guidebooks are quite different. Oh. Also we have some, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Some cool something going on in the bottom of the box. Mass market version, also don't resist the call of the void. Okay, so for mass market, we just have a little, very thin, stapled together pages with very brief, if not like just very succinct. Like, they're not big stretching things, but they're not inaccurate either. For mass market, it's much heavier and thicker. These are not the same meanings as in this one, so this is a very different guidebook. All right, so we'll talk about these. The first thing you may have noticed is mass market, or indie has gilding, mass market does not. I mean, card size-wise, the only difference, really, is that the mass market has a little bit more squared of a shape and very rounded edges. Okay, did I just say fucking mass market? Indie has more squared edges, whereas the mass market version has a lot rounder. There are also, like, color differences. It's a lot lighter here. I mean, even, like, this pale purpley blue tends much more, well, not much, but enough to be noticeable, more toward like a lavender, if you can see that. All right, so we'll just flip through the cards. Oh, I want to bitch about the card stock here in a sec. We'll just get started on this. So these actually appear to be a little bit, I don't know if they're like zoomed in or what. Something about the artwork looks bigger on these mass market ones. They also tend to seem a little bit more washed out. Even aside from the fact that there is whatever this is, gold foil on every single card in the independently produced deck. Mass market one has none. There's our magician. I feel like the colors are a lot crisper in the independent version. But that's not to say that the mass market's not beautiful. Like, really, I feel like the gilding made a big difference in this one. Like, the other faces of the goddess in the mass market are just a lot less prominent, maybe? I don't know. Like, some of the cards barely seem different, and some of them seem quite different without the gilding. I mean, I feel like this is a thing that could have been easily changed by just maybe making this gold a little bit brighter on these mass market ones, rather than sort of the faded tan it ended up being. I really like this Hierophant. Alright, so if you have not seen this deck before, this deck has 3 options for the lovers. I just keep them all in because I love them all. So the cardstock on this one's like a little bit shiny on matte or independent. Holy shit. The mass market is matte, which I actually really like. Yeah, I wish they'd brighten the colors a little bit or like up the contrast a little just to keep them a little more crisp the way the indie version was. But I mean, it's not like the end of the world. I wouldn't be disappointed if I only had gotten the mass market version. I wouldn't have been like, oh no, this is sad and I don't like this deck, you know what I mean? It just, literally sitting here and comparing them side by side makes me be like, it kind of seems like it's missing something. But it's not really a thing you need to be like, oh, I'm going to be sad because there's not the gilding. If you don't have the indie version, that's just the way it is. I absolutely love this artwork. I did want to say that I purchased the independent, I backed the independently produced deck, but the creators did send me this mass market deck for free, so this one I spent my own money on, this one I did not. Honestly, I was planning on getting it anyway, just because I wanted to do this. I really like the devil. Again, I'm gonna try to not keep saying it, but I feel like if they had made these chains, you know, a little brighter of a yellow, it would have made them much more noticeable in this card. I don't know. We've got our tower. So, let me have a moment here to bitch about cardstock. So when I got, the indie version of this deck, I was disappointed because the gilding on it is that kind that has a lip on the edge. So you can't shuffle it. You can't riffle shuffle it with the backs of the cards up. So I avoided the problem. Oh, this is the Judgment card. It's called the Gate, which I really like. Yeah, this deck shuffles in chunks. You can see them forming right now. So I shuffle it face up, and I was like, if I get the mass market version, it's probably going to be a lot better. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if you can tell, but there are... Actually, let's put these back on here for a sec. I'm going to regret that in a minute, but if we can get them all even here, you can see they're just... I mean... ultimately, it's a Hay House deck. The cards were not cut perfectly. And so, whereas that's not a deal breaker to me, I was a little bit disappointed because actually it shuffles just as badly, if not worse, than the indie version. So, there's that. Okay, sorry I had to pause there for a sec because I'm about to get to something I have to mention. Here we are at the World card. Okay, the independent version of this deck comes with 2 extra majors, the Abyss and the Tree, that do not come in the mass market one. Okay, so this deck has minors or pips. The only difference between these is the slight color change and the fact that there is a little bit of gilding on each of the minors and none on the ones in mass market. Got our 3s, or 4s. I really like that the cups aren't all just exactly the same on every card. They've all got different little decorations on them. And okay, I really like this one, how the water is like pouring out of the final one into the little like suit symbol at the bottom. I think that's so cute. That's the only one that does it. I have not seen any of the other ones that did. Right. I'm just going to flip quick through these. I don't think anyone wants to see that many of that. All right, here we are at the courts. We've got our page. Our knight, our queen, and our king. I really like the minors in this. I like that they're just kind of darker. They're noticeably, you know, different than... I'll just flip them like this, sorry. If you want to see these longer, then I'm sure there are other walkthroughs. Here our page, pentacles, the knight, queen, and king. All right, here we are with the Ace of Swords, which I'm really into the color palette they used for the swords. Also, the swords are different on each card too, right? I mean, the 2s are the same, the 3s are the same as each other, but like within the deck, we've got different kinds of swords. So this is the suit where I have my main problem with the mass market version of this deck. Get past these. And like, these aren't bad pips. Like, they're attractive. Some pips are really fucking ugly. All right, here we've got our page. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. I don't know why. I just love the movement of it. Knight of Swords. We have our queen with her sword here. Okay, here's the card that I'm bitching about. Here's our King of Swords. Do you notice anything missing? Where in fuck is this king's sword? Like, his hands are up here like they're resting on it, but the sword is just simply not there. Was this, like, an error? Was this purposeful? Like... I've been, like, racking my brain trying to be like, is there a reason they might have taken away his sword? Like, but then his pose doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. The King of Swords is just one of my favorite cards, pretty much always in decks. And I'm kind of sad about this one. Like, he doesn't even have his fucking sword. What's he doing? Okay. Here we are in Wands. Again, I'm really loving this like dawn sort of vibe from the aces. 2, 3, up, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're to our final courts. We've got our Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands, who does have his wand in both versions. So overall, I'm happy with the amount of diversity in this deck. I really like the artwork. I think it's fantastic. I like both guidebooks. I was perfectly fine with the smaller one that came with the independently produced one. The mass market one, I think, is just as good. The shuffling kind of sucks, and my only issue is mostly my problem is the King of Swords not having a fucking sword in the mass market version. I do want to look at price. Do we have price on here? Cool. Alright, so for the mass market Hay House edition of this deck, we got $24.99 for the US, $33.99 for Canada. I am not 100% sure. I think I paid between $45 and $50 US when I backed the independent version on Kickstarter. I mean, overall, these decks are horribly similar. You know, just very small changes here or there. I actually do like the cardstock a lot better on the mass market version, but I do think I like the shape better for the indie one. I like the corners a little bit crisper. Like, I think this is the roundest deck that I mean, obviously besides like actual round decks, this is probably one of the roundest cornered decks that I have. And I don't know, it feels weird. Like, it gives it a softness, I guess, that sort of goes with like the color palette used. But I don't know, man, just something about it is strange to me. Yeah. So, I mean, my complaint about the cards on this deck, not shuffling that well, that doesn't necessarily mean that if you get a copy of this deck, it's also gonna shuffle well, or shuffle badly. Like, sometimes they're just, some are cut fucked up and some are cut absolutely perfect. I mean, it's just kind of a fucking roll of the dice, you know? So I do have to say that this is probably one of my favorite decks, art-wise, that I've seen come out in quite a while. I feel like it's kind of fresh and unique. It's like, it's not just the same bullshit repeatedly. It kind of has a wintry vibe, maybe, to me, maybe just because of like the light blue in the background, but that also gives it, like, with its light colors, like a good spring kind of feel. I don't know. I've just kind of been pulling this deck out, well, this one, whenever the mood strikes. I haven't really, like, shoved it into a season specifically. This deck I just got a couple of days ago. I have been working with it. And, yeah, I believe this just came out August 1st. The Hay House Mass Market Edition. So, yeah, that was a comparison of two decks that were very, very similar. Thanks for watching. Bye.